Welcome to our April recap for Pink Floyd related news. As part of the Dark Side of the Moon 50th year anniversary, 8 lucky competition winners in Australia flew to the Ningaloo Marine Park in northwest Australia. They were there to witness a full eclipse while listening to the Dark Side of the Moon. You can watch it on YouTube. The Pink Floyd official channel have uploaded a replay of the event. It looks fantastic. They all stood around a pyramid and watched as the sky grew dark. And of course, it was all timed to end with Roger Waters' iconic lines, "But the sun is still eclipsed by the moon." In London on Thursday, the 27th of April, a premiere took place for the film Have You Got It Yet? The story of Syd Barrett and Pink Floyd. This started off as a friends and family event, but soon grew as the press got hold of it and people interested in the subject matter. There are now some details around the release. The UK cinema chain, Everyman Cinema, are hosting some special events on the 15th of May. They've set up a website called sydbarrettfilm.com, so get yourself over there to see the various locations. It's throughout the UK, so hopefully you can find a cinema local to you. The film will be released in cinemas in the USA and Canada in late June. We await further details exactly where and when that will be. I will include in this video's description a link to the trailer. It's fantastic and well worth a few minutes of your time. It includes some footage that you definitely won't have seen before, so it certainly whets the appetite for the release of the film. The Joker's Wild LP, which was a private press produced back in 1965, has sold at auction for £5,400. The price comes from the fact that only 50 of these were pressed, so very rare indeed. We don't even know how many of these still exist. So a big hammer price there on that item. Joker's Wild featured David Gilmour on guitar, and this was pretty much the band he was in before he joined Pink Floyd, hence the huge interest and the album selling for the price it did. Abbey Road Studios, probably the most famous studios in London, have decided to open their doors and give tours. This is quite a unique invite. The studio never normally allows the general public in. The dates are spread across the beginning of August. If you go to Abbey Road's website, you can see that each day has about 3 or 4 different time slots. It's not cheap, but it is a one-off occasion, as this is very seldomly done, and it is promising an exclusive tour. Roger Waters' The Lockdown Sessions will be released on June the 2nd in physical formats. That's both on CD and vinyl. It has been out for a while now on streaming services. It's 6 tracks, including his new version of Comfortably Numb, which is currently opening shows in Europe. The vinyl version will split those tracks with 3 tracks each side. It is available to pre-order now at the usual places. Roger Waters has also announced that on May the 25th, he will be broadcasting live his show from Prague. So this is going to be broadcast live all over the world. You can book via your local cinema. There is a supportive link on rogerwaters.com which can help you locate cinemas that will have the screening. On the 24th of April, a German court sided with Roger Waters and is now insisting that the owners of the venue in Frankfurt allow his This Is Not a Drill concert to take place. So despite some earlier press saying that the concert would be cancelled, it will now go ahead as planned. Nick Mason has appeared on the podcast Time to Talk with Sean Sennett. As usual, it's a great listen. It's a 35-minute recording. He obviously talks about the upcoming tour and the Australian dates and some interesting revelations that I don't think he's given in other interviews. So check that out. That's Time to Talk with Sean Sennett. Dave Harris, who formed the group Z with Pink Floyd's Richard Wright, has confirmed that he's looking at re-releasing the album Identity next year. That's going to be part of a 40th anniversary package, and he has also mentioned there will be extra unheard tracks. Sounds exciting. We'll obviously update you when we know more. Gerald Scafe has made a rare online appearance, being in conversation with the San Francisco Art Exchange. It's a great listen. He goes through his whole career in terms of who he's worked with and which publications he's drawn for. Of course, he leans heavily into his work with Pink Floyd. He also confirms that he's selling a lot of his stuff and he's still doing commission works, including Pink Floyd related art. So if that's something you're interested in, please check it out. It's The Art of Collaboration and Imagination in discussion with the San Francisco Art Exchange. Brain Damage, the definitive Pink Floyd radio show over at floydpodcast.com, have uploaded a new episode simply titled Vancouver 2022. It's Roger Waters' show from last year. The sound quality is absolutely amazing on this. What Matt has done over there has got two different sources, one being a plug-in from John Carin's onstage mic, and he's created the one-off show. And some of the detail you probably won't hear anywhere else. Certainly worth checking out. That's at floydpodcast.com. Respected Pink Floyd author Mark Blake will be taking part in a one-off event in London later in May. It's actually being held at the Battersea Bookshop, which is in the shadows of the Battersea Power Station. He's going to sit down with Peter Watts and discuss that book and obviously talk about Hypnosis, Storm and Poe. A great night out, it sounds like, and only £7. The Snowy White album, No Faith Required, is finally going to get a release on vinyl. On the 16th of June, it's coming out limited edition on crystal clear vinyl. You can pre-order. It's an album that did come out back in 1996 on CD, but fans have requested it for a long time on vinyl, and you can pre-order that now. David Gilmour's first wife, Ginger Gilmour, will be publishing a new book on the 24th of May. It's titled Behind the Wall, A Story of Love, Loss and Wonder. Sounds interesting. She has, of course, published previously Memoirs of the Bright Side of the Moon, which was an interesting read, again, recapping on her life and times with David Gilmour and Pink Floyd. This month has seen 3 magazines published in the UK, heavy on Pink Floyd content. The first is Prague, a magazine which looks at all groups in the prog genre. It's a great read. It features some input from Mark Blake and, of course, looks at Hypnosis and their involvement with the Dark Side of the Moon. The other 2 publications are both guitar related. You've got Guitar Techniques, which promises to let you learn how to play like David Gilmour. Good luck with that. And then you've also got Guitarist, which runs a bit of a story and looks at the Dark Side of the Moon 50th anniversary release. That concludes our monthly news roundup, looking at all Pink Floyd related news for April 2023.